So, what is this? Episode 7?
Oh man, we've already done 7 of these. Well, technically, I've done 6. This is my 6th, right?
This is my 7th, yes.
So
You're one of those cast members that doesn't show up all the time.
Oh man, well, I already told you my demands, and last episode you weren't giving them to me.
So anyway, how you been? What have you been up to?
Chilling, dog. Freaking, my
Chilling?
cousin came over from DC for the weekend, which is why I had to skip the pod. Sad
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting how you made up that excuse.
But
So,
yeah, it was
a good
fun.
excuse.
It was really cool seeing everybody. Everybody
That's
was chilling.
Did you watch anything?
Anime? Lows? I mean, since we're actually doing an anime episode, I guess that kind of counts.
Well, what? What have you been watching?
Oh, Darling in the Franxx.
Darling in
Wait.
the Franxx. What's that about?
Which is a mecha anime. I'm like on the 6th
Wait,
episode.
that's the one we watched the first episode.
Yes, it drew me
Oh.
back in.
That's like pre Pilot Boiz, like Pilot Boiz before the podcast.
Oh, that was like for real. We did watch the pilot together, huh?
Yeah, we never talked about like why we started doing the podcast.
Well, that's gonna be a secret episode only for the
Yeah, I
viewers
guess we should say, right? Like,
that pay the monthly fee.
motherfucker, no one even listens to this shit. It's just you and me.
That's only for our premium subscribers.
Lol. How is it?
It's pretty good. It's really. I feel like it tries to be Neon Genesis sometimes, but
Like that serious?
Yeah, like they try to be serious, but I can't take them serious because of the whole they pilot mechas by like loving each other. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, oh, I could only write it with her because, I'm basically in love with her.
Oh, God, that's
Yeah,
so cheesy.
I don't know, man. Freaking mecha anime, dude.
The romance aspect, like, it just seemed really boring.
Yeah, wait until you get to the 2nd episode, dog. There's some funny shit in
I
there.
don't even know. I don't even know if I'm gonna watch it.
Don't watch it.
But keeping up with that anime stuff, I too have been watching anime.
What?
I've been watching, or I finished the first 2 seasons of Food Wars.
Oh, you
And
finished it?
Yeah, I finished it.
Did you
It's
watch
pretty
it
cool.
dub?
I like it. Yeah, I watched it dub, which is which we should have put here as a disclaimer that I prefer dubs, which is
Okay.
like a no.
Well, hold on. We'll get into that later for the
right.
episode.
All right, for
All
sure.
right, because I also have an opinion over the dubs.
Okay, for sure. So yeah, I've been watching Food Wars and I enjoyed it. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's funny, but there's just not much there, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, not much is really going on.
It gets
Like-
repetitive.
Yeah, and the gimmick kind of gets old after a while. Like, it's just like, okay, all right. Like, he made
That's
something that blew your fucking mind, and it's like the best thing you ever had, and it just gets tired really quickly.
It's a shonen with food.
Yeah, but like, it's not like there's no powers. It's kind of like a slice of life shonen, if that makes sense. Because it's like not really about anything except for food, and like there's no
But,
powers, and
I
there's
mean,
no
I
like
wasn't.
fantasy.
I wasn't referring to the powers. I was referring to the I want to be the very best that no one's
Yeah,
ever
yeah,
was.
yeah.
You
I know, but like, it's just so kind of like mundane. Like, it's just like everyday life, except they just cook. You know what I mean? There's nothing like fantastical. There's no like magic or like powers and shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. I like it. I'm gonna wait for the dub for the 3rd season,
Yeah, I actually, unfortunately, I got tired of it, so I stopped watching.
which is weird because you were so fucking in love with it.
I was, but oh man, I don't know. Like halfway through the 3rd season, I was just like, again.
I thought that was stupid that they cut
They
it right when
CW'd it.
Yeah, it was so stupid that they cut it right where they're gonna like battle the 3 battle royale or whatever. That was so stupid.
Yeah, that was dumb too. How was the dub though?
The dub was pretty good. Karen was like laughing her ass off because I like the dub of the main characters, but like the side characters, like the 2 dudes who were like bros, They say stuff like, "Hey, bro, Chacho," or "Hey, bro, Tendo." Like Stop. They say really cheesy shit.
Oh shit!
So that was not great, but overall, I thought the dub was pretty good.
Cool.
And it's also
I was gonna go back and watch it too.
So since it's dub, I can just watch it and not have to really watch it. I can just listen to it, kind of thing.
I guess. So to be fair, that show does not require a lot of attention.
Yeah, it's not one of those shows where like you need to pay attention to everything.
It's not Neon Genesis.
No, it's not. It's not. Which we'll get into like the different tiers of anime and our preferences of anime.
Yeah. Speaking of anime, we're reviewing an anime.
Oh, what's it called though?
Oh, my good friend, this one's a goodie. This one is called Megalo Box,
which is kind of a stupid name.
You think so?
A little bit. If it's supposed to be like
I wasn't
boxing,
I wasn't really judging the name.
I mean,
it's whatever.
It's not great. It's like whatever.
They want to go with something different, I guess.
You put me on game. Like I didn't know about this shit at all. Well, you like recommended it.
I didn't know about it either, but you know, your boy on that Crunchyroll subscription, you know.
It's based on an older anime?
So, yes. Yeah, so apparently the original manga is called Ashita no Joe, which is apparently like regarded as like one of the best sports anime. I watched the first episode to Megalo Box, and then I told like people about it.
Yeah.
And then those people were like, dude, this reminds me of Ashita no Joe. And I was like, what? So then I looked up Ashita no Joe, and then I was like, oh shit, it's the same motherfucker.
Like the same creator or the same character?
It's literally like the original story, like re-envisioned.
Oh, okay.
That's supposed to be Joe, the main guy.
I thought maybe it was one of those things where it was like, because you know how JoJo's has been around forever, and then like they finally decided to make it into an anime kind of thing?
Yeah. No, because this had an anime too in the, what was it, in the 70s.
Fuck.
Yeah, so this one is old.
So this is like a revamp of that, or is it just...
it's basically Beast Wars. You know what I mean? Like Transformers was the original.
Okay.
Yeah. The setting is completely different.
Oh, okay.
That's gotcha. Like all that stuff, all that vibe, the space vibe and shit.
Yeah,
that's all different. Yeah.
Oh,
but
shit,
I mean, it's the same characters apparently.
Oh. Yeah. So it's kind of like Mad Max.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Did you watch the original Mad Max?
I watched the first one, and then I watched just the new one. That's it.
Oh, okay.
But it was alright. It's a little dated at this point. It's just like a dystopian future thing.
I figured that shit is the 70s, right?
Yeah, 70s or 80s, I can't remember. But that's like what got Mel Gibson into the game or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I guess that relates to this. The setting is kind of similar, except it's a little more like futuristic.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where they never established that it was Earth.
Yeah, or you brought this up. It reminds me a lot of Cowboy Bebop.
Hell yeah.
And it reminds me a lot of Trigun, like just in terms of setting. Yeah. And also reminds me a lot of Logan.
Ooh, that's a neat... Okay.
Yeah, Logan takes place in the future, but it's also kind of desert and like...
abandoned?
Yeah, and there's kind of like the seedy underworld kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which this show has a lot of.
This show has definitely like cool vibes to it. They did it better than Krypton.
Yeah, definitely. I think so too. Because that Krypton, I think, felt a little too glossy.
Not only that, it's completely different. I'm just bashing it at this point.
I think it's because it's animated, but the underground feels a lot dirtier. Does that make sense?
And I don't know if it was just me. It didn't feel like HD.
No, that's why when you brought up this whole like it's basically comes from like an older anime. That's why I thought it was like a JoJo situation, because this does not look like modern animation. This looks like it came out around the same time the Trigun or fucking Cowboy came out. Because
it's pretty good.
It's like the equivalent of like people who shoot on film now, because everyone shoots digital and no one really shoots on film. So when people shoot on film, it's like noticeable that it looks like an older film, even though it's not.
Yeah.
To me, that's the animation style. Like they made an effort to make it look kind of oldish.
Yeah, not only are they paying homage to like their original product, but they're obviously paying homage to like 90s, maybe late 80s anime.
Yeah, and I think, but I think it updates it. It has like movie animation. It doesn't have really that much of like anime animation because it doesn't look cheap. It looks very fluid, and it looks like these characters are constantly like animated instead of just having the stills of the characters and then having their mouths move. And I like that a lot. I thought the animation was great.
And the music, though.
Yeah, the music, I don't know. Like, I'm a little torn on the music because
Oh, really?
I was like, are they doing a hip hop thing? And then like they changed it to guitars, and then they were doing like little futuristic music. So I don't know.
I thought it was all good though.
It was cool. I liked it, but I was just like, pick a style and stick to it.
Oh, okay. I think in the second episode, oh well, spoilers. I think there's more hip hop.
Okay, for sure.
Are they gonna stick to more hip hop anyway?
Yeah. Do you want to introduce?
Okay, so originally Ashita no Joe was written by Asaki Takamori and illustrated by Tetsuya Chibi, which started in January 1st, 1968.
That's so fucking long ago, dude.
So this bitch is old. Yeah. I mean, the anime ain't old, but this bitch is old. I mean, and it was pretty successful, obviously. 20 volumes, dog.
Well, 20 volumes is like más o menos, right?
I never read anything more than like 5 volumes, though. But anyway, so then the original anime of this show started in April 1st, 1970, and only lasted a little bit over a year, to 71. Gotcha. And I'm pretty sure there's more adaptations of this manga, because I did read there was a few more, but I don't know if it's like a continuation to the original anime or if it's like standalones.
Yeah. Like it's kind of like a reboot, pretty much, in anime form.
Yeah, basically. And then at first I was like, oh, this just reminds me of, I don't know if you ever watched Hajime no Ippo? Fighting Spirit, whatever.
I've never seen it, but I've
USA
heard
Kids.
That's like the longest running manga.
There's like a new one, and they're like on episode, I don't know if it's like 100 something or 200 something.
You watched that shit, no?
No, I watched like a few episodes of the original when I was a kid, but like not the new one, because it's in it's only subbed.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Yeah.
Your boy can't read.
Let's do the recap.
So Megalo Box. So we get introduced to Junk Dog. He sees a Megalo Box announcement on TV, and he's basically orchestrating fights to help his manager / coach, because he's ripping people for money.
Yeah, like he's throwing fights so that they can scam people pretty much.
They even have a whole like how to do it and everything. You have the advantage in the first 2 rounds, and in the third you get your ass knocked out.
Yeah, so then Junk Dog just kind of wants to stop doing that. And he's wandering the city one day, and he comes across the person who runs the Megalomania.
She's obviously the antagonist, though.
Yeah, I think, right? He's going to fight with her bodyguard, but she cuts it short. And then in his next fight, the bodyguard, which his name is Yuri, shows up, and then the episode ends. So I guess we already kind of gave our first impressions. You just want to get into the style?
Sure, go
ahead. I guess we kind of did, too, no?
I mean, yeah, kind of.
I guess we'll talk about it a little bit more, because I wrote a few more things.
Let's see what you got.
I mean, it's not much. We already did it, pretty much.
We kind of did.
Yeah, we just kept talking about it. I mean, I think it's safe to say that we both enjoyed the show. Like,
yeah.
I think this is one of those shows where, and I think it's different for anime, which I was going to mention to you. It's hard to review the first episode, because you know how there's a 3-episode rule for anime?
Oh, where, my God. You believe in that?
I think it's true. I think sometimes the first episode doesn't give you enough. And I think this is the prime example of that, because I was like, oh, now the action is coming, and oh, fuck, it just ended.
But it kind of did its job, though.
I think so. Like, it makes you want to watch the second one, but it felt a little cheap to do that. Like, it didn't feel like a complete episode. It just felt like, it's kind of like the way that the Tuco stuff in Breaking Bad felt like it was still part of the first season, but they left the first 2 episodes in the second season, and it felt a little weird. It's kind of like that. Like, if you're gonna make a cliffhanger, I don't feel like the first episode is the place to do it. Like, if you're gonna have a cliffhanger, make sure it's like a series or like a season cliffhanger where like this setup what's to come. Kind of like what Barry did, where like they set up that the camera is gonna be like an issue in the future. You know what I mean?
Well, I get you, but I think this is gonna be one of those that finishes off. Yeah, because it's already been confirmed. It's 13 episodes.
Oh, so it's like a limited series?
I don't know if it's gonna be a limited series, but I know like usually the 13 ones they usually end.
We should also get into the fact that this is like a sports anime. Like it's
Oh,
not.
Yeah.
It's about boxing. It's not.
It's not just boxing though. It's very like
It's like Real Steel.
yeah.
Where like machines fight each other. But it's a little different than that because it's like
Edward Elric. What is the stuff he uses?
like automail.
Automail. Yeah.
It reminds
like
me of, but I mean, it still feels like a boxing. Like
oh, well, it
narrative,
is
you
boxing.
know what I mean?
But like, there's like a little twist. You know?
Yeah, and I feel like boxing kind of escapes the sports genre a little bit because it's like so violent. Like Cinderella Man, Rocky, or even Creed. They don't necessarily feel like sports movies, but they kind of are because they have like similar story structures. Even like $1 Million Baby, they all have like very similar structures. They have like this ambition in them. They can't beat the person, but then they're going to train and then they overcome or they lose. That's pretty much the structure of like boxing narratives.
Now that we're talking like combat sports anime, I'm surprised there's not a successful like MMA one.
Well, I mean, Street Fighter is kind of that, right?
Or maybe they're not there yet, you know? But like a whole like competition thing, like a UFC anime type thing.
Yeah.
Because like I've seen like wrestling one.
I've never seen that.
My boy, I know you remember Ultimate Muscle.
That's not. Is that an anime? That wasn't like an American thing.
It's called Kinnikuman.
Oh shit. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I never watched it though.
Dude, you are not gonna believe this shit.
What? It's still going on?
Homeboy goes back to 1979.
God damn, dude.
Ultimate Muscle, y'all.
Yeah.
1979.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, alright, let's talk about our preference for animes. You and I have a relationship with anime. We used to watch it in high school. Let me ask you, how would you describe your relationship with anime? Like, how do you feel about it? What does it mean to you now?
I think, like, the first time I ever watched anime, the one thing that comes to mind was different.
Okay.
It was all, like, different when I was a kid, you know?
Yeah.
Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, old Gundam series, especially those. Like, there's no cartoon. Gundam was, like, G.I. Joe on steroids.
Yeah.
Freaking machines and, like, advanced weaponry. Like, thing that drew me in was it's, like, different to, like, American-style cartoons.
Yeah, I think definitely that's true.
You know, so, I mean, as far as, like, drawing me in.
One of your favorite shows of all time is an anime.
Of course. DBZ will forever. And I watched it before these hype kids. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to throw that in there. But yeah.
You were one of the hype kids back in the day. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's also, I mean, we have to admit, it's the biggest anime that's ever happened, pretty much.
You think so? I don't know.
Think so.
Sometimes.
Like, I think in terms of just time, for how long it's run, and for the impact that it's had, I think you can consider that one of the biggest animes.
Okay.
I'm not saying it'll always be like that, but I think it has like name recognition where like people who don't even watch anime know it.
Definitely. Pokemon is probably another big one.
Yeah, but people don't know Pokemon from the anime. People know Pokemon more for the games. Which, I mean, it started from the games.
But it has name recognition and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then how do you think about it now as an adult?
Anime? Oh, yeah. I still like anime. It's just really hard for me to take a lot of it serious, especially at the age I'm at now.
Yeah.
So I just enjoy it. You know, like especially like shows like this and like can give me like a throwback feel.
Yeah.
I enjoy that a lot. But I think that's a big reason why I did watch like Dragon Ball Super. You know, it's just like it made me feel like 10 again.
Yeah, it's like nostalgia.
Yeah,
I also just think that there are different kinds of anime watchers. I mean, I won't talk about all of them, but I think the most common are like seasonal watchers, like people who watch everything that's out, that's new.
Oh, that's hard. I don't know how people do that.
And then people who watch like just their older stuff, or like they wait until like time has passed and they watch like the good stuff.
There's like legit people that watch like everything.
Yeah.
And I just sit there and I'm just like, how?
And there's so much fucking anime. It's just like there's so much TV, but there's so much anime that it's impossible to keep up.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I do like sometimes keep up with seasonal stuff, but I have to like really, really like it.
Yeah, so okay, that's what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to get at how would you describe your anime watching? What kind of anime watcher are you at this age?
I think I'm a little bit more than the average viewer.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't go by, like the kids that go to like every
Con and
con,
shit.
or every like little thing, or is obsessed with even the kids that are obsessed with Japanese culture. Like I'm just like, I respect it. Don't get me wrong, I respect it, and some things I like. But oh man,
like you kind of toe the middle line.
Yeah, like the pillow thing. Oh nah, dog.
The fucking weeb shit,
dude. The pillow thing. Nah, I don't get it.
I don't know, my dude. You're like one more anime box away from that.
Oh man, that's gotta go.
Yeah, so for me, I think I'm more of like I'm like a casual, but I like more serious animes. Like I don't watch much of the seasonal stuff unless it catches my eye, but rarely do I watch stuff that's currently airing. I like more of like the serious seinens, which is also a part of the different genres of anime. And this one that we're reviewing today is, would you consider it a shonen? Or would you consider it like a seinen?
I would consider it a shonen just because I've seen the second episode and I know where it's kind of going.
Yeah. Because I think there can be like shonen seinens, right?
Well, yeah, there is. And this one has a little bit of both, and I agree with that. But I think it carries a little more towards the shonen.
Would you consider Full Metal a shonen?
Yeah, I would.
See, I don't know if that would be a shonen because it doesn't feel like he's chasing the top spot. The only thing that he wants is to get his brother's body back and his arm. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't feel like, oh, I need to become the number one alchemist of all time.
He doesn't want to be the best of all time, but he wants to become one. Right? That was like his primary goal even before the whole situation.
Yeah, but that was only when he was like a kid or whatever. Yeah. And I mean, we don't get much of that.
But yeah, I would definitely consider it a shonen, I think it has a lot of shonen aspects as far as like the swerves, the comebacks, the betrayals.
Yeah.
But I mean, it does have a lot of different traits. But you know what? That's what makes Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood one of the best anime of all time.
I think what takes Full Metal from being a shonen, or like what stops it from being a shonen, is that it never feels like an anime that's gonna draw itself out too long. Like it's not gonna overstay its welcome. Like it always felt to me when I was watching it like it was gonna be a finite story. Like it's gonna be a story about these characters and how they try to accomplish their goal. But it never felt like it was about his ambition. It always felt more about like how he cares about his family. Whereas this one, I think the only thing that makes me want to categorize it as a shonen is the fact that you said it might be 13 episodes. Because usually seinens are really short. Like they're usually only like 13 or like 40 or 30 episodes. They never go on longer than that. They're pretty short usually.
Wait, since we're in the Full Metal Alchemist topic, I just want to ask one question about that.
What's up?
Do you think that show dotted all of his I's and crossed all its T's by the end?
In terms of big stuff, yes. I definitely think so. I think that I always have trouble because I haven't seen it in such a long time with like differentiating the original series and the new series. But to me, it felt like the story felt more complete in the new series because he goes into like he confronts like the truth or whatever. So that always felt more complete. But I don't know. That's just me. What do you think?
Like sometimes I wish, like especially, I'm a sucker for Roy and Hawkeye. Lols. Mm-hmm. I've always wanted to know, or confirm,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But it was obviously a thing. We're not gonna be talking about that. But I watched it recently with Michelle. Like not the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Just a few episodes. Yeah. I caught myself laughing a lot. Like with the dub.
Like at how bad it is? Or?
Especially Alphonse. Is it like you didn't like it? I don't want to say I didn't like it because I obviously love the show. But I just laughed a lot, and I remember not laughing that much.
You didn't
I don't think
like
I did like it. I don't think I did.
Okay. I don't know. See, like, the way it lives in my memory is, like, I thought it was, like, a little ridiculous at times, but it worked for me. Because, like, in the moments where, like, it was really sad, where, like, because Alphonse was kind of, like, the emotional character, where, like, he consoled people, and, like, he made them feel better about stuff. And I feel like that voice worked well, because he, like, is kind of echoey, and it always kind of sounds like he feels bad. Yeah.
And you know what? The age we watched it in was perfect, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Because, like, it really, like, shapes.
So if you guys are below the age of 18, definitely watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah, I think this became, like, the Full Metal podcast. So, yeah, so then we should also say that we both really like dubs. Or I prefer dubs because I'm lazy. I don't want to read. Like, a foreign film, I'll watch it. But
it's only going to be 2 hours.
But only with it. There's something about it where I just can't commit to reading it. It's just, and that's not to say that the dubs are better.
They're not.
They're really bad dubs. But I don't know. I just prefer it.
And you know what? Cool, because this goes back to the whole, I really, really have to like it to watch it seasonal. Because your boy does not like subs either. And quite frankly, I don't mean to diss my people that like sub, because I respect it. But how the fuck are you going to prefer something that you have no idea what they're talking about or understand what they're saying to something that you're listening and you can understand perfectly?
It's one of those things where, like, I feel kind of uncultured.
I don't care.
I've accepted that I'm a little uncultured when I say it because, like, in a film, I would never, except for anime films. But in a film, I would never ever watch it dubbed. Like, I would never watch, like, a French film dubbed because I just feel like that would ruin the experience. But with an anime, I'm just like, whatever. I just listen to it because I don't want to have to read it all the time. And I feel like people, like, romanticize that shit. They're like, oh, like, you like dubs? Like, wow. It just sounds so much better sub. Their voices sound so much cooler. And I'm like, not really.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
That is not necessarily true.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just an us thing. Yeah, y'all that watch sub, you know?
Yeah, y'all do you.
Y'all do you.
All right, so let's talk about the themes. The last one we did was the only episode that we've ever done where we rarely talked about the episode because it became more like a podcast about, like, what reality TV means, what something like Queer Eye does for gay people. Is it just exploiting them to just make a straight person better kind of thing? It became more of that. So it was more like a conversation about reality TV than it was about the episode. Anyway, so the themes that I wrote down, the first one is about like wanting to prove yourself, which is the constant theme with shonens, where Naruto wants to be the best. He wants to be the Hokage. He wants to be the best ninja or whatever. Goku wants to be the best fighter, which I think if you think about Goku, he has like an illness. Like he needs to be the best. Like he constantly needs to fight, and he's just like an absent father. And any other shonen where they just need to be the best.
Why you gotta talk shit about my boy Kakarot though?
I mean, come on, you can admit it. Piccolo is Gohan's real dad.
Okay, look, bro. Unfortunately, Goku couldn't be there because he fucking sacrificed himself for the fucking Earth.
Interesting. Interesting how he sacrificed himself for the Earth when he could have just been at home chilling. All I'm saying is that if this was reality, Chi-Chi would have divorced his ass and been like, you need to pay this alimony, bitch. Dude, I love the episode where Piccolo is like the babysitter for Pan, and he talks about like all the stuff that he does for her or whatever. Like, you have to like take care of her like this. And I'm like, yeah, we've all known it. We've all known that he's a true father.
He's a parental figure.
Anyway, so I think that is also part of the boxing narrative, like wanting to prove yourself. I think it makes a lot of sense for a shonen to be situated in the boxing narratives because in Rocky, it's about like him being an underdog. He ends up like winning, but also losing, which is kind of something that they played with. And I think it fits really with that theme of like needing to prove yourself or like testing your abilities fits really well for this anime, I think. And it also just comes out a lot with narratives about sports where you just have to overcome. And I mean, there's really only two outcomes with sports movies, is like they either win or they lose, but it's always about how they got there, how much it meant to them, or like how much they've grown as a person, kind of thing. Yeah. And then the other theme that I wanted to touch on is this is a little like hidden, or like it's not super explored in the first episode, but they talk about how this little competition,
megalomania
is like, it's perpetuating violence. And I think that's an idea that exists in the real world, where like people think that these like violent sports are creating a violent mentality. You know what I'm saying? People who watch NFL or like people who watch UFC, it just breeds more violence. Like it breeds like a violent mentality kind of thing.
Okay.
And I feel like the show hinted at that a little bit. And I'm not saying that I necessarily subscribe to that. Like, I don't think that watching violent media makes you more violent, but I do think that that is a concept that people think about a lot. What do you think about that?
In sports or like
just in the real world? Like, do you think
like sports
watching
fans are violent
stuff,
or sports fans get violent?
Sports fans who watch contact sports are more violent, or does that culture breed violence?
Okay.
Because this is, I mean, you're a big sports fan.
Okay.
You're a big sporto.
I like football. I like it a lot. But I draw the line. Like this whole bullshit with the constant fighting. I've been to 4 NFL games. And at all 4 of them, I've seen at least 3 fights. That's not acceptable. So, I don't know. Maybe it's the alcohol. But I do agree. I will say this. Football fans are very aggressive and very violent. So maybe there is some truth to what you're speaking. But I wouldn't know anything about boxing fans. But
also, football is like a very American sport.
Yeah, but
whereas boxing is like international.
Do you really gotta fight though? I don't get it. Like
I just think that as a culture,
that's kind of
like as humankind, we're really violent.
I find it really dumb.
But I also think it's dumb to like place it on media as the reason why we're really violent. Like video games or like movies. Like to say that those things are the reason why we're so violent is kind of ignoring the fact that we have constant games or sports where we glorify this. Like hockey is love for its violence. Football is love for the violence. Boxing, UFC, all these contact sports are love for violence.
We even get it in baseball.
Yeah, so I think that shit's there.
Yeah.
And I think there's a huge market for that. And I mean, I don't know. I just feel like this is like another side to the argument about like films and video games are the reason why we're so violent. But I'm like, well, there's also that also exists in other forms of culture beyond just like visual mediums. Anyway, so I think another little snippet that was in there was about how Junk Dog is like, I don't know if you caught it, but like Junk Dog kind of kept hinting that like he's not a huge fan of this like sport. Like he prefers like real boxing. Did you catch that? To me, it was one of those things where like, this is what real boxing is.
Oh,
if you can't box for real
yeah.
without the gear, then you can't box at all.
Yeah, like his way of boxing.
Yeah. He's more of a purist kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like he caught that when he sees Yuri, like when he's gonna fight Yuri.
Mm-hmm.
Because like when Yuri takes the stance, he's like, oh shit, like this motherfucker's for real.
Yeah, like he knows he's not just one of these immigrants.
I don't know about immigrants. Because I think, because the immigrant thing, I think we'll be able to understand that a little better when we watch the whole series. But like, the only thing I got for immigrants was about how only citizens can participate in the megalomania thing. Like, they're not allowing foreign people to fight. Kind of thing.
You didn't think it kind of played through his like what bracket he's in as far as economically and everything?
What do you mean?
Like he's obviously not the like in a high tier of social.
Yeah, like he's not rich. Like
yeah, of course he's not rich. Like all those people are looked down upon.
But okay, so this is what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know if they got into this a little bit more in the second episode, but
They did it.
so are the people who are like not citizens just from a different, like they're foreign, or are they just like not allowed into the city kind of thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they didn't get into it.
Because the way they presented it so far, being an immigrant, being foreign, is connected to your class, which is something you touched on a little bit about how they look down on him for not having good gear, not being a citizen.
Well, at no point in this episode, maybe until the end, Yuri, he is the Megalo Box champion, right?
Yeah.
So he is like obviously at the highest tier of wealth, fame, whatever, right?
Yeah.
He didn't even like see him as like someone that is capable of touching him or the ground he walks on, you know?
Yeah, and I think that comes back to like the class issues where like Yuri's obviously at the top and he's achieved so much through fighting, but people at the bottom don't even get that chance because they don't have that kind of money. And I think that even creates like a barrier of entry for the competition. Like you can't even participate if you don't have a certain amount of money, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like that's hidden in there. Like it's not explicit, but it's kind of implicit. It's kind of like a bullshit thing where like everyone can participate, but only certain people can participate. Like every citizen can participate, but it's one of those things where not everyone gets to be a citizen kind of thing.
Obviously, though, my boy will be going to Megalomania.
Yeah, I think that's
Yuri
what they were gonna
and become champion. What I would love is that he gets there and still loses.
See, that would make sense because Rocky did that pretty well. Yeah. Rocky was about how he tried so hard and then he loses, but it was the fact that he became like a much better, like he became a big deal in the process.
Yeah. See, this show does remind me a lot of like Cowboy Bebop and, you know, stuff like that from the 90s. But Cowboy Bebop, I don't think was predictable.
Yeah, no. Cowboy Bebop is like
not predictable at all.
I feel like Cowboy Bebop is like kind of like god tier anime.
Of course.
You can't even compare it because it was one of those shows that set itself apart from anything else because you never knew what was going to happen. Yeah. You just knew that it was about these characters in the way that they're like bounty hunters, but you don't know what the fuck is really happening. Whereas this show, it fits into like the sports format of wanting to be better.
What I would like is that this show were also not to be predictable.
I don't know if we're gonna get that.
Yeah, probably not.
I feel like this show is good for what it is, but I don't know if it'll be amazing. So I think we'll have to see what else comes of it.
I'm not gonna lie though. I know you didn't because you already know, but as soon as I finished watching this episode, which was like 2 weeks ago or whatever, the first thing I did was Google if the creator of Cowboy Bebop had any type of hand in this.
Did he?
He did not.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, but that show is so influential where like it has to bleed into all types of culture.
He had to have produced something. He had to have done something here. Because music, shampoo, animation, Bebop.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think another thing I wanted to get into was like this little dog narrative that they set up. Like his name is Junk Dog and he consistently calls himself a stray, and he talks about how like he hates being tamed, or like they show the way that he hates being tamed, which is this idea of him having to throw the fight. There's like this moment where he's gonna fight Yuri in the rain where his owner like stops them from fighting, and he calls him like a trained dog. And I think that even that gets more into that idea of these dudes that are fighting are kind of like animalistic and they fight. And I think that kind of speaks Junk Dog beast inside of him, where like he needs to fight and he needs to win. And he's like in a station where he can't. He wants to break out from being stuck losing fights kind of thing. Like he wants to break out and be to be like glorious. Like he wants to glory and he wants like money and shit. If Yuri is like trained and Junk Dog is like the stray, Yuri likes that he has like these resources from being trained. Like his quote unquote owner provides all these resources for him. Whereas Junk Dog, he values like the freedom of not being controlled. Yet in a way, he's still being controlled. Like he's a stray because he's not allowed to be. He's not a citizen, but he's still like kind of a trained stray dog because he has to obey the guy who's helping him set up the fights and like throwing them. So I thought there was like this constant like narrative about dogs that kept showing up.
What if they do like a whole he gets tired of owner?
Yeah, see, I think that could be a thing.
And then they're obviously gonna the team up episode.
See, even that adds to the dog narrative. Like,
yeah,
he calls
it does.
Her owner. There's a lot of stuff about dogs in the show.
And to be fair, we don't know anything about Yuri.
Yeah, we don't know.
The only thing we know about Yuri is that he's the Megalo Box champion. We don't know how he got there, how long he's had it, any details, nothing. That's all we know. And that he also has gear.
Yeah, and it's one of those relationships where it's already set up where he will do anything that his owner says. Like, it could be one of those things where like she saved him as a kid, or she did something for him and he has to just listen to him, or she's holding him hostage kind of.
He could not be human. We don't know that.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah. So, and I mean, he was like dead silent for most of the episode. I like him.
Yeah, he's cool so far.
I like them all. I even like the little guy in the beginning that fixes his bike.
Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah. So.
Alright, so let's get into the B.
Oh no.
The B.
It's time.
The BTs, the broken TVs.
The broken TVs.
Let me go first this time. I never go first. Alright.
Hold up.
So, what up?
I just need to ask you one question.
What's poppin'?
How many?
Mm-hmm.
I need to know how many.
Oh, I'm finna tell you.
How many goddamn BTs we giving this some bitch?
This shit right here?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so I liked the first episode. I thought that it was like an improvement on the sports genre. Where like it felt similar to other sports narratives about boxing where like they want to be the best and like they're stuck in a rut. But I think the fact that they set him up as someone who like consistently throws fights made it a little more interesting for me, because now he has like a small hurdle to overcome, and then you'll get to see whether or not he actually has the stuff to make it or whatever. I'm a fan of that. I just think that it's weighed down by the genre. Like, I think that the fact that it's a sports anime is what's going to weigh it down ultimately for me.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with a 3.5 to 4, or like a 3.8.
3.8.
Yeah, because I thought it was pretty good and I enjoyed it. And I would keep watching it. But I just think the fact that it's kind of a shonen kind of weighs it down for me too, because I think that shonens are a little tired and there's very few that really improve on the form.
Mm-hmm.
I think My Hero is a good example of that. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with.
Oh, that it's getting tired for you, or that it's improving?
No, I think My Hero is improving on the form.
Oh, okay.
Like they're revamping what it means to be a shonen. Let me ask you, my friend. What are you gonna give it? How many broken TVs?
Well, you know damn well, I'm the opposite of you. I love me some sports.
Mm-hmm.
I love me some sports. I love me some baseball.
You also love the underdog.
I
element.
do. I love the underdog. I love the whole leave for 20 episodes, train in the freaking heavens, come back and kill the motherfucker.
Lol.
You know that's my anime. That's how I like it. So I'm not a huge fan of boxing, but your boy is watching this. Your boy is not only watching this, he is gonna be watching it as soon as it's available, because your boy loved this shit. Style, direction, music, characters.
Okay. Oh.
It's got it for your boy.
My boy's all over.
Yeah,
like
I'm telling you, dog.
He's
this
even
shit
giving me like an explanation.
It hit me it hit me in the feels with the animation. As the whole like scorpion scene.
I didn't even mention the animation.
Oh my god! When the scorpion eats the thing, it's the fucking dogs.
Yeah.
It's him getting pulled down by the man.
Yeah.
It's dude. This show is lit for me. It's
Liddy?
It's Liddy's, dog.
So you're gonna give it the Liddy award?
Oh, you already know. Not only that, it's by far the best anime of the season. Until My Hero Academia, starts academian, then
Academia almond.
Yeah, whatever. Then this shit is levels above that. Cause damn well, this first episode was better than that first episode.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. None of that fucking recap bullshit.
So give me them BTs. Bitch.
Oh, you already know it's happening. We're going.
Why are you teasing me?
We're going with the solid 4.
That's it.
We're going with that solid 4.
That's all. The Liddy award is only 4.
That we going with that 4. And you can't see me right now, but I'm doing something with my hands.
Jerking off or what?
Yeah, something. Let's go with that. But we're going with that 4.
Okay, I like that.
I don't want to go past that because I haven't done anything past 4.1. And I gotta.
Yes, you have.
Well, yeah, Barry. But I mean, that's Barry, dog.
Would you say that you like anime more than like real life television?
Oh man, that's a hard one.
For me, it's a no. I like real life television more, but I feel like for you,
maybe
you watch more.
It's like the best of both worlds for me. I don't know.
Yeah, because I think anime is like, I think it is the best of both worlds.
You know what though? I will say this: there's a lot of anime I like, but there's hardly any anime I love. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Okay, because like with TV shows, like there's a lot of shows that I love and I can go back on and rewatch them and all that stuff. But with anime, like I can watch anime and I can like it, but it's just like to go back, it's just like, oh man, I can't find maybe Full Metal, maybe Cowboy. I'll go back.
There's not many.
Watch it. There's not many animes that have rewatch value. Like
whereas TV shows, there's a lot.
If we're TBHing right now,
yeah, TBH that shit.
Yeah, it is what it is. And I'm sorry, my weebs out there. I love y'all. I've been to the Anime Expo. By the way, was not that great.
Lols.
But I've been there.
Lol. Yeah, so I guess this prediction, we can't really do it.
We can't really do it. It's confirmed 13 episodes. I don't know by from what I'm hearing from my Weibo friends, it's looking good. I don't know if this is one of those things that carries on.
Let's do a hypothetical then. If we were just to judge based on the first episode, or for you the first 2 episodes, how long would you say that this goes on for? Just based on that, like how much time would you give it?
I don't want to give anything long. I would say 2 seasons, like a good 26 episodes. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I could see this being like a 26 or like a 30 episode kind of thing.
Yeah. I could also see it being milked.
I think so too, like once he gets to the top tier or whatever. Alright, so you're going to say 26 and I'm going to say 30 episodes. Is that right?
Ooh, diff. So you would say you liked it, I loved it, right?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. Like I would recommend it to people. I don't think it was like amazing.
Let me give you another question though. Let me shoot something. Will you keep watching, or is this I'll wait for the dub?
If it's a 13 episode, I think I would keep watching, but I'm gonna wait for the dub. I think.
Okay.
I mean, if I watch it with somebody, I don't mind. I'll watch it.
Okay.
But I'd prefer watching it dubbed. I feel like the dub would be really good, cause just based on the animation.
Definitely, and unfortunately, there's no dubs announced yet, which I feel Funimation has dropped the ball on this one. But they're obviously putting all their eggs on My Hero Academia's basket.
Anyway, that's it. We're done.
Passengers.
Passengers, we have landed. That's it.
Oh, you're not
just gonna keep it short.
This was Megalo Box. Testicles 1, 2.
Testicle.
What you know about
I'm
that?
surprised we haven't done that.
That's that TBT
shit.
right there, dog.
That's a soul playing. Peace.
Pilot Boy out. Cookie.